Hey everyone, welcome back to Music with Ryan. Today I'm going to go over the tune Kentucky Waltz. As you just saw and heard, I played a solo for the tune Kentucky Waltz, a very popular traditional bluegrass tune. And I have another lesson on my site that's for Kentucky Waltz that's an advanced rhythm playing. But this one is a solo. Haven't written a solo yet. And so I was very inspired by Doc Watson and David Grisman, the way they played it, perform it. And actually, I took phrases from each of them and I kind of put this all together. There's a few great lines that I liked each player doing, and there's a couple great Doc Watson licks in there. So I wouldn't say it's an exact transcription of their solos, but definitely a few lines here, a few lines there from each of them, and I kind of put it all together and put my little spin on it. There's a really cool Doc Watson lick that I can't believe I just found till now, but just that little grace note. We talk about grace notes in this piece. Okay, and I just love that. Sometimes they're easy to pick up, the licks, from the top players. Sometimes not. Sometimes they are. So that grace note, we're going to talk about that. We're going to put that in different places all over the piece because Doc did a lot of that. That's a good thing to learn how to do on guitar. It's hard at first to get those grace notes in there. So anyway, the lesson is pretty long. It's about 60 minutes in length. And I also go over my rhythm playing for it because I would play rhythm a little bit different for this arrangement than I wouldn't do my advanced rhythm lesson that I have at the site. I would have to make a little bit different arrangement just because there's so many more chords and more movements in the bass going on. So, but I go over my rhythm lesson as well and how I would play rhythm because this tune is slow. This tune is just a few chords, and so there's lots of room, to do some very expressive things. So again, over an hour-long video, PDF tabs, and just one backing track. It's pretty slow. So yeah, if you like what you see, head on over to my website and you can purchase the full-length lesson, as this video is just a preview. And you can check out about being a member over there. My library is growing every week, and I got about 100 lessons over there. And you can be a member and access everything. So, but for now, we're going to go ahead and walk through this, give you a little taste of how it's going to go. And we're going to go, tabs on the screen, walk through it pretty slow here. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. All right, so let's go ahead and break down this Kentucky Waltz solo a little bit here. A lot of stuff going on, and as you notice, there's no pick directions below the measures, okay? And the reason I did that is, is this song is so slow, and there's so much space that I'm going to use all downstrokes, or try to use all downstrokes. You kind of have some freedom with this tune as far as your right hand goes. I'm a big stickler usually on making sure you do your down-ups in the right places. And you can certainly do that in this tune. You can make sure you follow your pick directions or the rules for that. I know they're not written there, but and still stick to those and be just fine. But I'm gonna do all downstrokes as it's pretty slow and there's lots of triplet runs, and so that's gonna be the deal, and that's why there's no pick directions. So I don't want to say it's not a disclaimer, but it's just we're gonna be doing a different technique, so to speak. So I'm going to go ahead and play this tune, or play the first few measures here. Again, we're in 3/4, of course, waltz, and then we'll break it down. All right, so 1, 2. Again, 2, 3. So, a lot of little things, a lot of ornamentations. There's some grace notes in there and these triplets. So, let's get into it. But, so that first little spot, triplet. Oops, sorry. Triplet. 2nd fret on the G, 4th fret on the G, 2nd fret on the B. And as you see, I'm using my 1st and 3rd finger here. Finish that phrase on the 3rd fret of the B string with my second finger. And again, you know, that triplet, strawberry. Because we're going to do this. This will be this little phrase right here, this first measure and half. We'll do this a few times throughout the piece. Triplet. Okay. Strawberry bicycle. Again, not eighth notes. 1 and 2. Nope. Triplet. And we land. Again, third fret of the B. So then I have a dotted quarter note in that right here on the 1, 2, and then I go second fret of the B. And then I have a little grace note. It's almost like it's two grace notes, and it's acting almost as a trill. I think you could call it a trill. It's really quick. It's hard to really even count. It's a trill. I'm gonna call it a trill. So it's 1, 2, and then you pick the second fret, B string, and then you'll pick it again, and you hammer on the third fret, and you pull off back to the second fret. That's the movement, okay? So you pick 2 again, and you hammer, pull. Okay, and then that 2, when you pull off, you'll have the second fret of the B, and that's the first eighth note, and then you'll come to the fourth fret of the G, okay, for the last eighth note in that measure. So in context, 1, 2, I gotta count, 1, 2, so it's really hard to break down super slow. Again, a trill is a different feel than a triplet or eighth note and so forth. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and again 2, 3. 1, 2. So make sure you pick that second fret twice on the B string there. 1, 2. 1, 2, and you'll land in that phrase on the second fret of the G. So and we'll do this again. This first measure and a half is going to be all over the place. I just really liked that phrasing. Again, it's in the style of Doc Watson, so. 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and. So it's not really taking the place of any beats. You know what I mean? We're not. It's not being accounted for, so to speak. Because if you notice in that measure, that's what that 2 and the 3 with this. It looks like they're 16th notes, but they got a cross, small little line through them. And my tablature doesn't do the best job of notating that grace note, but those with the slashes on there are the grace notes. And they don't really count as time, if that makes sense. They squeeze in there, they fit in there because they're really quick. Okay, so they don't take the place of stuff. They don't add up, because every measure needs to add up to 3 beats, okay, right? Or whatever time signature you're in. But in this case, for the grace notes, I don't want to say they break the rules, but we're just squeezing them in there to make it work, okay? And if you haven't done it, it might take a while to kind of get that feel and get that hammer-on pull-off right in time. 2 and grace, grace 3 and 1, grace 3 and 1, grace, grace 3. So you can sit around and just how quick, just like a little flick. Think about a violin player or a fiddle player, and they just do those quick little triplets or those little, again, grace notes. Or think about a horn player, or a horn player, or like saxophone, trumpet. They can do little flicks with their fingers and make those notes just especially saxophone. I played saxophone. You can just move your fingers real quick. You can make a trill. You can do it on other horn instruments, clarinet, trumpet, trombone a little bit. But so yeah, a trill.